Lights on red. Round 18 of season 11 is underway. Good start from Adamaka from pole position. Jensen Rando got a bit of wheel spin there off the line. That cost him crucial drive down to the first corner. It's going to be Valsreci who's going to try to go on the outside, though Jensen Rando gets the power down and maintains second place. Valsreci in third. And Theodorus Samanidis there fighting with Super Bill there in the V-Car, making his SRL debut today. But Adamako has done everything right at the start and maintains the leader as we go through sector 2 here on this opening lap. In the field, Alex Benechetti getting through on the house of Robin Hersendagen. There we can see Theodorus Samanidis getting up the inside of Ramon Molero. They're still alongside each other as they power onto the back straight. Molero there still alongside the Kick Sauber as they go into the final chicane. Turns 13 and 14. Look at that, oh, that is very tight indeed. And Theodorus Samanidis almost forces off Ramon Molero there on the inside of the chicane. They were fortunate to not hit the wall of champions there on the outside.
Legacy move. Mr. Don Piper.
Looking back at the season 5 champion Tim Ventink. Ventink in the slipstream there is gonna pull to the inside. And he easily gets the run there with the help of the DRS. On board here with Sandro Doulis in the Ferrari SF25. He's gonna open the rear flap as he gains on the Aston Martin AMR 25 here into the final chicane. He's gonna brake later here on the inside and he's gonna make it stick there. Jack Richards actually gets the run there on the exit. They're gonna be side by side into turn 1 as they cross the line to start lap 7. Doulis there with the second bite of the cherry, having the double DRS, moves up into 7th place. All the drivers are slowing up. I haven't got a notification yet, but it looks like there's been some sort of incident. And all the drivers are currently cruising, so it looks like we've got a brief virtual safety car. And that is not correct. We've got a full coursed yellow, so that means a full safety car for the incident involving Robin Hersendagen at the back of the field, I'm pretty sure. Now this is gonna spice things up. All the drivers now are gonna come in, because they're getting towards the end of the medium stint anyway. This does mean that Jerome's 4-second lead is gonna be torn apart, and he's gonna have to do all of the work again. It looks like Mike Lowry has actually stayed out, so that's why he got himself the second position. That is a very odd decision. So we get ready for the restart here. Jerome Adamako has decided to go very early on before the final chicane. And he's already a second clear of Mike Lowry, and he is still on all tires. So it's going to be crucial for Valsreci and Renault to get through on the Haas as soon as possible. They can't afford to lose time. Turns 8 and 9. Valsreci is now going to go to the inside here into turn 10. This very tight hairpin. Valsreci up into second place. Also Renault follows him through straight away. Mike Lowry down to P4. And meanwhile, Tim Ventink is up the inside of Theodorus Samanidis. And he's alongside the Kick Sauber now as we go onto the back straight. So Valsreci now clear into second place. Ventink goes through on Samanidis, but the gap is already 2.6 seconds. The damage is already done. As also Galindo now gets to run on Mike Lowry. I really wonder when Lowry's going to go into the pit lane, because he is just holding everybody up at this point. Doulis now gets to run here as we start with sector 2. Sandro Doulis up the inside here into turn 8. Oh, Lowry tries to defend it. He's got it the inside here to turn 9. And Jack Richards goes through on both of them. Takes the 2-for-1 deal into P8, and also Ivan Brito there up the inside of Lowry. He's down to P12. Bit of an awkward moment of contact there. They're completely slowed up as they go onto the back straight. Ventink to the outside of Jensen Rando as we go into the final chicane, and he already clears him before the braking zone. So Ventink up to 3rd place, related to Jensen Rando. And to add to that, he's also picked up a 3-second time penalty. And now gets under attack from the Kick Sauber of Theodorus Samanidis into the hairpin. Samanidis there up the inside, cleanly gets it done. Although Randall still gets a traction there with that wider line. And they both at DRS, of course, with Tim Ventink still within a second. Yellow flags again, further down. That is, looks like Ivan Brito now is the Alpine, isn't it? Esteban Galindo maybe, the Williams. Yeah, it was Esteban Galindo. He spun it round there in the Williams. He's down to P12. Luckily, oh no, he spins it again on the traction. He's gonna have to be careful with those overheated rear tires. And we see a move for 4th place here as Theodorus Samanidis uses the advantage of the DRS and the slipstream to get through on Tim Wenting. Wenting's championship chances are slowly fading away with Jerome Ademaker now 10 seconds clear of the rest of the field. Ramon Malero does make a move on Tim Wenting. That is because Tim Wenting decides to go into the pit lane. He actually went to the medium tires in that safety car phase, so he's now going to switch to the hard compound. So Wenting is going to drop a couple of positions here. Let's see where he rejoins on the track. So Wenting decides to go for the undercut because he actually opted to go to the medium tires for his middle stint. He's now going to be on the hards, but that does allow him to pit earlier, get an undercut on the rest of the field. Although, of course, he's now going to be on harder tires, and once the rest of the field comes in, he's going to be in all the tires as well. He rejoins just behind Dion Stahl there, although he immediately gets through. Dion Stahl knows what's happening. He lets his competitor go through there. As Jerome Ademaker now goes into the pit lane as well from the lead of the race. Now Nicola Valsrezi is staying out, as is Jensen Rendel, so they will actually briefly get track position over Jerome Ademaker. Are we going to see drivers maybe staying out to try and disrupt the rhythm of Ademaker? As Jack Richards unfortunately picks up a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and he has actually retired from the session, so that looks like a race quit there from Jack Richards. These three drivers here, are they going to stay out deliberately to try and hold up Jerome Ademaker in a last-ditch effort? Look at that Rendel to the outside of Valsrezi as we go into the chicane. Rendel has made it stick. Fleur Samanides now to the outside here of Jensen Rendel. This is your battle for the leader at the start of lap 24. He's being hung out to dry there on the outside of turn 1, although he does have the inside for turn 2, and he gets the traction now. Look at that Jerome Ademaker there on the inside. Gets the bow down on those fresher tires, and Ademaker now into the lead. Takes the 2-1. He certainly didn't need much time there at all to get through on those two drivers. Then went down to P3 because Jensen Rendel now into the pit lane. Of course, he couldn't take his hard tires to the end. He was already on 18 lap old hards. So that is now going to put Tim Wenting in third place. That's going to secure him second place in the championship for now, with 4 rounds to go after this one. I still remember his first victory in Jeddah back on F1 2021 as he now goes up the inside into turn 1 here as he attacks Tim Wenting. He's going to have the outside here for turn 2. Wenting is going to have the preferred line there, although it's going to be slightly trickier to put the power down with that tight line. But yeah, Wenting is doing really well to defend the second place here. He doesn't have the DRS, he's punching the hole in the air, but he's still able to keep these cars behind him. Look at Valsrezi with a good run again through the chicane. This time he is a little bit closer. Is he going to make a move this time here? Just start lap 33. Valsrezi to the inside. No, not quite. Wenting really late on the brakes. Still defends second place. I think that's why he's almost trying to get out of the slipstream there. Once again, you can see the Constantine effect. Into the hairpin, Jensen Rendel up the inside of Ramon Malero there. We just saw him making an outbrake maneuver there. And he's going to be alongside the V-Carb as we go onto the back straight. Jensen Rendel and Ramon Malero side by side. Bit of contact there on the back straight. As also Valsrezi tries to line up a move on Tim Wenting. Jensen Rendel now through into 4th place. And Valsrezi really close to the back of Tim Wenting. Ramon Malero picks up a 3-second time penalty there through the chicane of turns 13 and 14. Rendel to the outside there into turn 1 as he starts the last lap. Rendel on the outside is going to turn to the inside here. Jensen Rendel up into 3rd place. A really good comeback there from the British driver. Now he's got Tim Wenting in front of him. It's been an amazing season for the German driver. He weaves around the track as he crosses the line. Jerome Ademaker, your 2025-26 SRL Season 11 World Champion. What a season for the German driver in the Mercedes.
I'm happy. I'm so happy. I'm literally crying right now. So yeah, unbelievable. I'm happy.
And he has finally realized his dream of winning the SRL World Championship. He was already one of the favorites coming into it at the start of this season. Jensen Rendel, Tim Wenting and Nicola Valsrezi, all really quick drivers, but they just didn't have an answer to Jerome Ademaker.